Let's get something very clear right now. The world doesn't respect what it can always reach. And people never value what they know they can get anytime. Why do you think diamonds are rare? Why do you think gold is locked up? Why do you think a queen never stands at every gate waiting for attention? Because her presence is precious, her energy is sacred, and her time non-refundable. But you've been too easy to reach, too available, always picking up that call, always replying that text in 2 seconds, always ready to fix, to care, to please. And guess what? They stop valuing you. I'm not here to sugarcoat this truth, because strong women, real high-value women, don't chase, they attract. So here's the harsh, unapologetic reality. If you make yourself available for everyone, you become important to no one. Let that sink in. A queen who bows to every whisper is never feared by the kingdom. You don't need to reply fast. You don't need to explain why you were busy. You don't need to prove your worth by being on call for anyone's drama. Because the more they see you everywhere, the less they'll feel you anywhere. Today is the day you stop being too available. Today is the day you pull back your energy. Today is the day you make them earn your attention. Because when you value yourself, the world has no choice but to follow. And remember this, a woman who is hard to get is impossible to forget. Are you ready to reclaim your worth? Stop answering every call. Stop replying every text. Sounds simple, right? But this is the secret ingredient to keeping your power intact. You see, when you are always available, when you're the one who picks up the phone on the first ring, when you reply to that, hey, what's up, at 2 a.m. clock I am, just because you don't want to seem rude, you are training the world to believe that you have nothing more important to do. And trust me, they start believing it. Fast. Think about it. When was the last time you reached out to someone who was always at your service and thought of them as a person of high value? Never. Because the mind plays tricks. It devalues what's easy. Like the free things in life, you grab them, you use them, and you forget them. But the expensive things, the rare ones, the things you have to wait for, they make your heart race. They live rent-free in your mind. You think about them even when they are not there. Be that person. Imagine this. There's a woman who always texts back in less than a minute. Whether she's at dinner, at work, or lying in bed tired, she's there, thumbs flying, making sure no one ever waits for her. But what happens? After a while, the texts she gets are lazy, dry, half-hearted. Hey, what you doing? Because she made herself easy. Predictable. And predictable never gets valued. Now picture another woman. She waits. She checks her phone only when she's done with her priorities. She doesn't break her workout, her book, her meeting, her self-care routine, or her peace, just because someone pinged her. And suddenly, the same people who send boring texts to others start crafting their words better. Hey, are you free this weekend? I'd really love to see you. Why? Because her time is not for free. Because her attention must be earned. Let's go deeper. There's a man who calls you after ghosting you for 3 weeks at midnight. You know that call. That I just wanted to hear your voice call. And because you're so scared to seem unavailable, you pick up. And now you've trained him. You've taught him that no matter what he does, you will answer. What does that make you? Option not priority. But imagine, the phone rings. You see the name. You smile, put the phone down, and return to your book. You call back 2 days later, on your terms. And just like that, the balance shifts. Now he's wondering, is she seeing someone else? Is she busy? Did she move on? His mind is working. Your absence is louder than your presence ever was. Because you didn't pick up. Your boss sends an email on your off day. You're sipping tea, enjoying your weekend. But you panic. You reply in 2 minutes. And just like that, you have told your boss that your boundaries don't exist. But the woman who reads that mail after the weekend, who says, I'll handle this Monday morning at 9, that woman gets respected because she has a life outside the screen. Even friends, the ones who call you with gossip or drama or can you come over and help me fix this today? You run every time, don't you? But when you stop, when you say, I can't today, I have plans for myself, suddenly they realize you're not their free therapist. You're not on call for their broken hearts. You're not the emergency exit. You're a woman of purpose. Stop answering every call. Stop replying every text. Because when you pause, when you make them wait, when you choose yourself first, the world pauses too. And they start to see you. Really see you. The one who is too rare to waste. Too valuable to chase. Too strong to be taken for granted. Your availability determines your value. Let this truth echo in your mind. Because the world does not respect what is always accessible. Think about it. The rarest things in life are locked away, protected, guarded, because they hold value. A diamond isn't lying on the street for everyone to pick up. It's hidden deep inside the earth, waiting to be mined by those who dare. Gold doesn't hang on trees. It must be earned, discovered, worked for. But when you make yourself too easy to reach, too quick to respond, too present at every beck and call, you slowly begin to lose your worth in the eyes of others, without even realizing it. Take a simple example. Imagine a colleague at your workplace. The one who says yes to every favor, every extra task, every last-minute request. Everyone dumps their work on her because they know she will not refuse. But what happens over time? She is overworked, underappreciated, and invisible to promotion lists. Now compare her to the one who says no with grace, who guards her schedule fiercely, who only says yes to things that matter. Suddenly, that person gets more respect, more value, more recognition. Not because she works harder, but because she values her own time, and so does everyone else. Or think about relationships. The friend who is always free to meet, who never says I'm busy, she becomes the fallback plan. The one they call only when no one else is available. Why? Because her time feels like it costs nothing. On the other hand, the friend who has boundaries, who chooses when to meet, who values her solitude, when she says yes to dinner, it feels like an event. People dress better, they prepare, they listen more. Why? Because her availability is rare. Her time is respected. Her presence feels valuable. Even in romantic life. Especially here. A woman who constantly texts back within seconds, who's always online, who says yes to every date request, no matter how late the invitation, she gets seen as too easy, too common, too expected. But the woman who takes her time to reply, who doesn't rearrange her life for last-minute plans, who can say, no, I have other things to do without guilt, she becomes the prize. She becomes the one they chase, the one they think about, the one who remains mysterious, intriguing, desirable. Why? Because her availability is not for everyone, not for any time. It's earned. Let's not forget social media, the ones who post every hour, every meal, every outfit, every mood. What happens? The audience scrolls past. Nothing feels fresh. But the ones who appear rarely, who share with intention, who make you wait and wonder, when they post, people stop. They pay attention. They value every word, every picture. Because it's not cheap. It's not poured out for free. It's rare. And rarity is priceless. Even your family can take you for granted if you're always ready to solve every problem. The sister who always lends money when asked. The daughter who never says no to errands. After a while, no one even says thank you. But the one who carefully considers every request, who sometimes says, I can't do this right now, she gets appreciated more. Her help becomes valuable, her effort seen. Because she is not endlessly available, her yes means something. Her no teaches respect. Look at customer service. When brands throw discounts every day, their products feel cheap. But luxury brands, they never go on sale. They make you wait. They make you earn it. And people are proud to pay more. Why? Because value is built in scarcity. The same applies to you. If you're always available, you become the clearance rack. But if you choose your moments, if you protect your time, if you make people wait for your energy, you become luxury, you become desire, you become priceless. Say no without guilt. This is not just a piece of advice, it's survival, it's dignity, it's self-respect dressed as a two-letter word. But why is it so hard? Why does your tongue tremble when you're about to refuse someone? Why does your heart race when you want to decline that favor, that task, that dinner, that late night call? Because you've been trained to please. You've been taught that your worth comes from being agreeable. But listen carefully. Every time you say yes, when your heart screams no, you are betraying yourself. You are signing away a tiny piece of your soul. Imagine this. Your colleague comes over to your desk. Her voice is sweet. Can you cover my shift tomorrow? Just this once. And you, because you don't want to appear difficult, smile and nod. But inside you feel the weight. You had planned a peaceful Sunday with family, or maybe with yourself. But now you're working again. Not because you wanted to, but because you didn't know how to say no. She walks away relieved. You sit there, suffocating. Why? Because your guilt was stronger than your truth. Picture this. You're home after a long, draining week. You've finally drawn a bath, lit some candles, turned off your phone. But then a message pings. Hey, can we talk? I really need someone. And you, forgetting your own exhaustion, your peace, pick up the phone and listen to another hour of someone else's problem. You wanted to say, I'm not available right now, can this wait till tomorrow, but guilt gripped your throat. And now your mind is heavy with things that are not even yours. You gave away your rest because you didn't want to appear selfish. But here's the truth. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It's necessary. You're at a family gathering. The aunt who always asks you for favors smiles. Beta, can you help me organize the wedding function next weekend? You're so good at these things. Your schedule is already choking. Work deadlines, friend's birthday, your own life hanging by threads. But you nod politely. Again. Because saying no feels like you'll hurt someone. You smile, but your insides ache. Another personal weekend gone. Another promise made against your will. But think, who is carrying this burden after that wedding is done? You, not them. They'll move on. You'll be the one paying in exhaustion. All because you couldn't say no, I have prior commitments. A gentle, firm no would have saved your sanity. But guilt didn't let you. A friend calls, come to the club tonight, everyone's coming. You never show up. You were about to sleep early. Tomorrow is an important day, an interview, a presentation. But you hesitate. You fear being called boring. You don't want to miss out. So you say, okay, I'll come for a bit. And you show up with half your heart, half your energy, pretending fun while your mind worries about tomorrow. That one yes robs you of focus, of freshness, of your best self tomorrow. Because you couldn't say, no, I need to rest tonight. And the world wouldn't have collapsed if you did. But your confidence might. When you stand tomorrow tired and drained, knowing you betrayed your own priority. Or worse, the relationship guilt. Your partner asks, can you skip the gym and spend time with me today? You can work out tomorrow. You wanted to go. You promised yourself this. You've missed 3 sessions this week. But love twists your arm. So you say, okay, fine. And inside, you resent. You break a promise made to your own body to please someone who will forget this favor in a day. And who loses? You, your health, your discipline, and slowly, your self-respect. Because every time you say yes against your true will, a little crack forms in your foundation. Do you see now? Every yes you force is a no to your growth, your peace, your goals. You owe no apology for guarding your space. You owe no guilt for putting your needs first. Saying no does not make you cruel. It makes you clear. It makes you powerful. It makes you real. Invest in yourself, not in pleasing others. Because let's face it, no matter how much you try to make the world happy, they will always ask for more. You bend once, they'll expect you to bend forever. You say yes today, they'll demand it tomorrow. And you, who has dreams, who has fire in your soul, who was born with purpose, will slowly shrink into a shadow that only lives to please, not to thrive. But life is not meant to be spent trying to fit into the box someone else designed for you. You are here to build your own throne. And that requires one powerful decision: to choose yourself first. Look at the girl who cancels her gym membership because her friends keep saying, why do you work out so much? Come hang with us. She gives in. She stops going. She skips the run, the workout, the sweat, just to sit for hours in gossip, sipping coffee, scrolling phone. And months later, when she looks in the mirror, disappointed with herself, where are those friends? Where are their opinions? Gone. They didn't gain the weight. They didn't lose the confidence. She did. Why? Because she invested in their comfort, not her body, not her health. And the price was hers to pay. There's the young man who dreams of starting his own business, but every time he saves money, a friend or a family member appears. Bro, I'm short this month, can you help me? Sis, my birthday is coming. You'll buy me that expensive bag, right? And because he cannot say no, because he fears disappointing them, the savings slip away. His dream delays. They smile. They enjoy. He suffers. Because he was too busy pleasing others and forgot that his first duty is to himself, his future, his freedom, his empire. And what about the woman who stays late at work every day because she wants the boss to like her, the co-workers to praise her, She skips dinner with family. She cancels self-care weekends. Her life becomes that office desk. But promotions go to someone else. Praise fades. No one remembers the sacrifices she made. Why? Because she gave everything to please a system that will replace her in a second if she falls. She never invested that time in a course, a skill, a new language, a side hustle. The years she gave away could have built her own brand, but she gave it to others for approval, for validation. And the return? Nothing. A girl dreams of writing. Her journal fills with thoughts, stories, poetry. But every time she picks up the pen, a friend calls. Come out, let's chill. Hey, can you help me with my assignment? And because she wants to be liked, she goes. The journal gathers dust, the poems fade, the book never comes alive. Why? Because she poured herself into others' needs, not her own craft. And the world never got to read the magic she could have given because she didn't invest in her talent. The boy who loves music but hides his guitar because his family says, music won't feed you, study accounting instead. So he closes the case, he goes to lectures with an empty heart. Years pass, he gets the degree, the job, the life they wanted, but not the life he wanted. And every time he hears a song, something inside dies because he invested in their pride, their expectations, not his passion. And then the woman who says yes to every wedding, every dinner, every baby shower invitation, even when she needs sleep, when her body cries for rest, just so people don't say, she's rude or she thinks she's special. She drains her energy, drains her spirit, drains her joy, until one day, no joy is left to give. And the same people, they won't care. They won't fill her emptiness. Because she invested in their smiles, not her own peace. Life is not a charity where you give every drop away. You are the first home you must build, the first project you must finish, the first masterpiece you must protect. You will be the first to go. You will be the first to go. This is why we feel again, you aren't the first home you must build. This is why we feel again, you aren't the first home you must finish. The first masterpiece you must protect. Because when you invest in yourself, in your mind, your body, your dreams, the world comes looking for you. They want your light. They want your success. They want your magic. But if you burn yourself trying to light up their world, there will be nothing left when the night comes. Distance creates respect. This is not just a clever quote. It's the secret law of human connection. That no one teaches you the things that are close, easy, and always within reach are the ones we stop valuing first. But the things that require effort, patience, and waiting, they sit in our minds, they live in our hearts, they command our respect without even trying. That's the power of distance. When you pull away, when you make yourself a little less available, the world starts to wonder about you. They start to notice you. They begin to value what they can no longer grab so easily. Imagine the girl who is always in the group chat, replying to every meme, laughing at every joke, giving advice at midnight. She is there, all the time, predictable, constant. But slowly, no one asks how she's doing anymore. No one values her presence because they've gotten used to her. Like wallpaper, always there, rarely noticed. But then one day, she vanishes. No replies, no texts. She disappears to focus on herself, her goals, her peace. What happens next? The same chat that ignored her floods with, "Hey, where are you? Everything okay? We miss you." Her absence speaks louder than her presence ever did. because distance made them remember her worth. Think of the woman who always cancels her plans because someone else needs her. Her friend wants to vent, her boyfriend calls late, her family demands favors. She is always there, available. But the more she shows up, the more they assume she will always be there. They stop thanking her. They stop appreciating her effort. But the day she finally says, "No, I can't come tonight. I have things to do for myself," the room feels empty without her. They wonder why. They miss her energy. They finally realize the gap her absence creates. Because distance has taught them to respect the space she fills. A celebrity walks into a room and the whole place stops breathing. Why? Because they're not seen every day. They don't reply to every message. They don't show up in every small event. They are rare, scarce, exclusive, and scarcity breeds respect. Even diamonds are respected because they are hard to find. Gold is valued because it is rare. Water is cheap because it flows everywhere. Which one do you want to be? Constant and overlooked, or rare and unforgettable? Look at relationships. A man who texts, calls, shows up every hour, who needs nothing but her attention, he gets ignored. She feels crowded. The chase dies. But the man who has purpose, who is building something, who is busy with life and not always waiting on her reply, that man is respected. She waits for his call. She checks his updates. Because his distance makes him valuable, his silence makes her curious. His mystery makes her want more. That's the beauty of not always being available. That's the power of distance. Even at work, the employee who says yes to every request, who stays late every day, who picks up every shift, becomes invisible. The boss expects it. No respect grows there. But the worker who chooses carefully, who says, "I can't do this extra task today because I have another priority," that one gets noticed. She has her own things going on. She manages her time well. That one is respected, not used. Because her distance shows her worth. Friendship too changes with space. The friend who calls you every day becomes background noise. But the friend who calls once a month, fully present, fully alive, with real stories, real joy, that friend is cherished. You wait for that conversation. You value their time because it's not given freely. Every day, without meaning. It's rare. It's special. That is what distance does. It makes space for meaning to grow. Think of social media. The person who posts every minute selfies, updates, endless content becomes part of the scroll. No one stops. But the one who posts rarely, thoughtfully, their post stands out. People pause. They read. They listen. Because this moment feels different. Because it's not noise. Their distance made them special. Even family relationships change with distance. The child who never moves out, who stays home, who depends on parents for every decision, loses respect. But the one who leaves, who carves a life, who visits rarely but brings stories, strength and growth, that child is respected, admired, valued more. Because space turned dependence into dignity. Distance is not about neglect. It's about value. It's not rejection. It's revelation. When you step back, the world sees you clearer. When you create space, people fill it with respect. When you stop pouring yourself endlessly into others, they realize how much you gave. And in that realization, respect is born. Let your silence scream louder than words. Because sometimes silence carries the weight of 1,000 storms. It speaks what words can never dare to utter. In a world that cannot stop talking, the one who can master silence commands the room. Silence isn't weakness. It's power in its purest form. It's the stare that makes the liar uncomfortable. It's the quiet that exposes the truth. It's the pause that makes the other person question everything. You don't always have to explain, argue, or beg to be understood. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Imagine this. You are in an argument. The other person raises their voice. They attack you with words. They throw blame. They want you to break, to shout, to fall into the chaos they've created. But you don't. You look at them. You stay quiet, calm, steady, unmoved. And in that moment, you win. Because your silence shows you are not controlled by their noise. You are not pulled by their drama. And soon, they feel small. Because the loudest scream in the room is not their voice. It's your silence. A friend betrays you, lies to you, stabs you in the back, and the world expects you to lash out, to post on social media, to call everyone and expose them. But you don't. You stay silent. You walk away, you build yourself quietly, and soon they hear about your success. They see your glow. Your silence has shouted louder than any revenge, because nothing breaks a betrayer more than the sound of the life you built without them. Your silence has become the biggest revenge, the most deafening proof that you needed no war to win. In relationships, it happens again and again. A partner plays games. They want you to react, to cry, to beg, to explain, but you don't. You give them silence. You leave their messages on read. You don't chase. You let them feel the cold emptiness where your warmth used to be. And suddenly, they are confused, disturbed, because your silence makes them realize what they've lost, what they can no longer reach. Your silence becomes the mirror in which they see their own flaws. It screams, you no longer have power here. And they feel that scream in their bones. At work, you are blamed for something you didn't do. Your colleagues whisper behind your back, waiting for you to burst, to defend, to plead, but you do not. You keep working. You focus. You let your results, your success, your growth speak for you. And one day, the truth surfaces. The gossipers are revealed. But you never said a word. Your silence protected your dignity. And in the end, your silence shouted the loudest, I rise above this. Without speaking, you became untouchable. On social media, people throw insults, trolls want your attention, they provoke you to respond, but you don't. You stay silent. You keep shining. You keep winning. And what happens? Their words fade. Their noise dies. Because without your energy, they starve. Your silence drains their power. You did not stoop low to fight small battles. Your silence screamed, I am beyond you. And the world noticed. Even in friendships, someone wrongs you, takes you for granted. You could argue, you could list everything they did wrong, but you don't. You distance yourself. No explanations, no drama. You let the space between you grow wide. And they wonder, they question, they regret. Because your silence whispers all the truth they refuse to hear. And it hurts more than any angry word could. Parents tell you you'll fail, that your dreams are foolish. They mock your plans. You could argue, fight, rebel, but you don't. You stay quiet. You work harder. You build quietly. And one day, you make it. The stage, the success, the applause is yours. And they sit in the crowd, speechless. Because your silence has screamed, I proved you wrong. Without one word, you rewrote the story. In love, silence is even deadlier. When they ignore you, expecting you to chase, you stay silent. When they test you, expecting jealousy, expecting drama, you stay silent. And suddenly, they are the ones confused, wondering why you are unbothered, wondering why their game failed. Your silence shakes them. Because it says, I don't need this. Your silence screams, I value myself more. Even the universe listens to silence. In meditation, in moments of quiet, the biggest answers come. Not in noise, not in shouting, but in silence. The world's deepest truths reveal themselves when words stop, when the mind stills, when the soul is quiet. Silence holds the wisdom that noise covers. It holds the power that shouting drowns. It is in silence that you discover your own greatness. Let your silence become the lesson others never forget. Let it be the moment they realize you are no longer the same. Let your silence become the storm they never saw coming. Because silence, when mastered, shakes the earth more than thunder. And now, I want you to pause for a moment and truly understand this truth. The world does not move for those who scream the loudest. It moves for those who control their silence. Because in that space of stillness, of quiet strength, you become unforgettable. You become rare. You become the kind of woman, the kind of man, who no longer dances to the chaotic music of the world, but writes your own rhythm. A rhythm so powerful that people stop and listen without you saying a word. The day you decide to let your silence speak louder than your explanations is the day you step into your true royalty. Remember, the lion never roars when the prey is beneath it. The eagle soars in silence, above the noise, above the storm, above the doubters. The diamond never screams its worth. It lets its shine blind the world. And you, yes, you, were made to be that diamond. Stop explaining your worth. Stop proving your value to people who are blind to your shine. Silence will say what words cannot. People will ask, why did she change? Why is he so distant now? Let them wonder. Let them drown in their questions. Because the moment you stop answering, you create mystery. And mystery breeds value. Scarcity breeds worth. You are not supposed to be available for everyone. You are not meant to be understood by the common. You are meant to confuse them, to awaken their curiosity, to leave them wondering long after you've left the room. Because you were never made to fit in. You were made to stand out. Every strong person you admire, every queen, every king, every game changer you ever heard about, they mastered this art. They didn't announce their every move. They didn't explain their every decision. They simply acted, and the world followed. The world bowed. Because when you master silence, you master control. And control, my friend, is the real crown in this life. Learn this. When you speak less, they listen more. When you move less, they watch more. When you give less, they crave more. Power comes not from being everywhere. It comes from being rare. rare like gold, rare like peace in this chaotic world, rare like self-respect in a sea of people dying for attention. Your silence makes you valuable. Your distance makes them reach for you. Your no makes your yes priceless. Do not fear losing people when you choose yourself, because the right ones will stay and the wrong ones will fall away like dust. Never forget this. The tree that bears fruit gets hit with the most stones, but the tree stands quiet, unmoved, and when the season comes, it blooms again, stronger. So will you. Let your silence destroy their assumptions. Let your absence make them tremble. Let your peace disturb their chaos. The day you choose silence over explanation is the day you win the game they wanted to trap you in. Because silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. Silence is full of decisions. Silence is your crown. And you, my friend, are no ordinary soul. You are fire wrapped in grace. You are thunder hidden in calm. You are the storm they never saw coming. And from this moment forward, let your silence roar. Let your